All right, so in this video, I have followed the money, and I have also uncovered something so shocking as it relates to someone on the ground, on video, behind Trump, who people have identified as behaving very, very suspiciously, to the point where anybody who looks at it is going to go, oh yeah, they're in on it for sure. Well, that person got identified, and who that is going to blow the eardrums out of your head when you see who this is being reported that it is, okay? So today we're talking about the Soros family. The Soros family telling you 7 months ago that they're going to knock Trump off, and everybody going, okay, putting it out there like they always do. If hypothetically the person they worship is not this way, is maybe this way, they always have to announce what they're going to do. They always put it out there, dude. Here it is. Oh, it's just a picture. Oh, no, plausible deniability. That's not what we were saying. Does that imply that we're going to shoot him? Yeah, for sure. But that's not what we meant. Coincidence, And then, you guys are behind the biggest trade ever in the direction of, if this would have gone well, we would have made $1 billion. Oh, weird. It's just all these coincidences adding up. So we're going to talk about that. And then, like I said, who's behind him. And then a little bit on the cyber attack that happened yesterday, right before the RNC, when Trump was going to give his big speech. And then we're going to close out with what I think is coming next and what they need to do security-wise. Because if you think that what has happened in the last week means there is a lower threat to Trump, you are crazy. They are going to kick things up. They have to. That's going to happen. We're going to talk about that. So that's what we got in this video. And last thing before we start, I apologize for the audio. I don't know what is going on. There's an OBS update. I can't fix it. I'm not an audio person, and I can't make the echo go away. I need my audio guy to come over tomorrow, so there is going to be an echo in this video. I can't fix it. I apologize. I will make up for that fact with shocking developments that were worth your time and an entertaining face to go along with it. Now, also, I want to say thank you to all of you guys. When I put the first video out that went viral last week that got 1.8 million views, I had never had a video get over 1 million views. I had one to go 1.8 million, and the next day get 3 million, okay? That blew my brain out of my skull. And I gained 115,000 subscribers. I gained 39,000 subscribers in all of 2023. 3x the entire growth of 2023 in 3 to 5 days. I think they call that like a breakout moment, and I cannot be more grateful, and welcome to the team. But if you're not one of those people, hop on, dude. It's a fast-growing ship. You know what I mean? It's fun in here. It's warm. It's cold outside, but it's warm in here. Just like Zuck, who said that Donald Trump is the biggest badass in the world. Pretty sure he was on the other team a couple years ago, so you could thank Dana White for that. And you could also thank Dana White for the best speech in the history of politics when he introduced Donald Trump last night at the RNC. We got another video coming about that. But anyway, love you guys. Enjoy the video. So people's opinion of George Soros tends to be associated directly with the amount of research that they've done into his past, both as a person and as an investor and a global figure. Okay, if you have looked specifically into the kinds of things that made him wealthy from the beginning, and if you've gone even further back to look at his childhood and how this guy became a global string-pulling billionaire, if it does not concern you, then that would be very bizarre. This is not a left or right thing, unless you are absolutely insane and you're on the left and you're like, it doesn't matter. I actually want to topple the American government. That would be the only way that you could look into what this guy has done historically. I mean, the guy's 90-something years old. His saga started 80 years ago. More than that, actually. Okay? So he is a very scary figure, and I'll tell you exactly why. Okay? So this guy, I don't even want to talk about his childhood. If you know, it's not really necessarily relevant to what we're going to talk about today. The way that he became wealthy is he was a currency trader who would go into these Eastern Bloc countries. He would essentially overthrow the government with student action. Basically just picture exactly what's going on right now with the, the protests in the street for fill in the blank does not matter, Black Lives Matter, or some of the really, really crazy stuff with the Palestine stuff where people are breaking things, those groups, and just implement the exact same strategy in Hungary, and then leading to ultimately they overthrow the government, and him being a currency trader and knowing that was coming, he becomes extraordinarily wealthy, okay? So that's essentially his history. And if you look into what he's been investing in the United States, it's like, looks like he's running the same playbook. And he's been wildly successful previously. Nobody hates Trump more than he does. But the one saving grace for us is that he is very, very old. And it seems that when he's speaking recently, he's having a hard time connecting thoughts, Like he's really like a computer that is, someone spilled coffee on the mainframe. You know what I mean? But so I'm sure any other smart people were like, so what's going to happen when he does, bite the dust. He's 93, right? And so here was the first answer, all right? And this is a very important point because George Soros is handing his entire empire to his son, Andrew Soros. He's 37, and you got to ask yourself, like, all right, well, what kind of person is this guy? Now, all the reports that I read were that this guy is dumb. Like, he's like a dumb person. I have no idea. I've never met him, nothing. I've watched a couple of his speeches. He seems to have a hard time connecting. Like, he has a lot of buzzwords, and he talks for a while, but I'm like, what are you trying to actually say, guy? Right? Like, what is the point that you're making? And if you're making a specific point, how do you plan on implementing something that's going to make that happen versus just observing it and pretending like you have solutions? Okay, like that was my impression watching him speak. But what's really interesting about the very first really big thing that I saw him do was this. So I saw him make a post on X, right? And this is going to go through that for you guys. Andrew Soros, son of far-left businessman George Soros, shared on his X profile a post from the far-left group The Atlantic showing a bullet hole and 6 bills totaling $47. The amount is both interesting and shocking since it coincides with the number of the next president of the United States. The polls predict that person will be Donald Trump. So here's that post. Okay, here's that post. Last year, the crime and inflation crisis largely evaporated. So did the leading theories about what had caused them. Bullet hole, $47. Now, I don't want to get into the more extreme level of assumptions and I guess some people would call them conspiracy theories about groups that this guy is 100% a part of and, you know, which deities they potentially would be worshiping if they did do that. But one thing that they seem to do very consistently is if they're going to do something real bad, you know, something real bad on a global scale, they seem to like to put images out that foretell that. Like, hey, so, Balenciaga, what are you thinking about doing with your next spread? They're all, we're going to have a child holding a hanging baby doll, and we're going to put blood on it. And then in the background, we're going to have all kinds of books that say sacrifice children to, you know, the big guy down there. And you're like, and then people notice, they're like, oh my God, these guys are crazy. You're all, oh, you mean that we noticed that you guys were advocating for children to get diddled by crazy people who worship the devil? Like, oh, we shouldn't have noticed that? You know what I mean? So very consistent thing that they do. And then when people notice this, the cover that was ran for this, I challenge you guys to go look, like just try to find this story. This 100% happened and it was very, very widely known. But all you're going to find in the mainstream media is one story from USA Today that supposedly debunks the fact that he made a veiled threat at you know, Trump in a Twitter post. So I mean, you guys interpret this exactly however you want, dude. Bullet hole, $47. $47? Why $47? Okay. So anyway, obviously would have been a foretelling of you know, shooting Trump, right? Now we're going to fast forward. So this was in 2024. I can't remember. It's I don't know. However, not very long ago. All right. This year. Actually, let's see exactly when it was. This was January 22nd, 2024 is the article. So, you know, right around there. Now, we're going to move over now to the story that everybody has been talking about around investment dollars. Okay. Like I alluded to early in my video, if you really want to start looking for who is doing what, who is behind what, and who is going to most likely have been involved, if you start looking under the covers, you look for the money. You follow the money. Follow the money, dude, because you want to know what all of these guys' critical weakness is, which has been exploited by a lot of people, actually. Unless you know, I mean, we don't need to go down that rabbit hole, but if you understand that even the most elite, wealthiest people in the world have the same weaknesses that regular folks do, you can exploit them. Jeffrey Epstein made a career out of that, right? But the weakness I'm talking about now is greed, okay? Greed. So hypothetically, if they knew that some global event was about to happen that was going to change the landscape of the world, there is always an impact on financial markets when that happens. And so if you can go, all right, well, 9/11 happened. Was there any odd trading? And you go look, and it's like, oh yeah, this guy, all shorted the airlines the day before. Have they ever done that before? Go through their trading history. Oh, never? They've never done that. They've never shorted the airlines before. That's weird. So I wonder what prompted them to do that yesterday. So if hypothetically you were to see an enormous trade that would have blown up so big, so much money, they would have made so much money had Trump not gone like this and had the bullet miss, right? You got to go, well, have they ever made a trade like that before? No, they haven't. No. They're like, has anyone ever bet that big on the Trump, stock in either direction? They're like, no, this is absolutely extraordinary. And they were shorting it as if it was going to go down, right? And you're like, wow, that would have been great for them had Trump not dodged that bullet. And so, which brings us to this story, which I'm sure you guys have heard, and just wait until you see the new development about this story, okay? You might think you know this story, you don't, not yet, okay? So, and this right out of the gate should probably look a little bit shocking to you because I had not heard BlackRock linked yet either, okay? So, BlackRock linked firm under scanner for shorting of Trump stock before an assassination attempt. So, the name of this company is Austin Private Wealth, okay? I mean, listen, dude, that's a pretty like not a big, there's nothing grandiose about the name of that company, which is exactly how they like it. If it is a lot of very powerful people who have their money in these things. So, Austin Private Wealth facing scrutiny after for over filing before Trump assassination attempt. Company denies shorting 12 million shares of TMTG, and they cited a clerical error. Okay, so again, let's just read this really quick, and then we'll get into connections and why the Soros thing would potentially be relevant, right? A Texas-based investment company, Austin Private Wealth, has come under scrutiny for a filing made just before the failed assassination attempt on U.S. presidential candidate Donald Trump. Company has vehemently denied accusations of attempting to short 12 million shares of Trump Media and Technology Group, attributing the incident to a clerical error. Okay. So if you don't know what short selling is, it is, I mean, we don't even need to get into the mechanics of it. Bottom line, if the stock goes down, they make money. And you can make a fortune short selling. A fortune. And you can also get cracked enormous. You can get murked short selling if you're wrong. Okay? Enormous upside, tremendous downside. Okay? If I start talking about the mechanics of it, I'm going to waste 10 minutes of the video. You guys don't care about that. Bottom line, exposure enormous if you're wrong. Upside gigantic if you're right. So, let's look at the details. So he was speaking, Trump was speaking at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, when an assassin fired several shots at him, grazing his ear, killing one audience member and injuring two others. The day before the incident, APW filed for a put option on 12 million shares of TMTG with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, which appeared to be a bet on the company's value plummeting if Trump were killed. Okay, that's 100% exactly what would have happened. They would have made so much money, it would have been unbelievable, okay? 12 million shares, okay? So screenshots of some speculated that APW had major holdings in Vanguard or BlackRock funds, linking them to George Soros and the Rothschilds family, further fueling suspicions. Okay, so that just means suspicious, right? Like that's not, this right here is, people speculated that, great. Not evidence, does not matter. So we're just going to move over to this next part, though. Investment firm that allegedly put options on 12 million Trump stocks the day before assassination attempt blames filing error. Rothschilds, BlackRock, Vanguard, Meta, George Bush, and Cheney family among the top investors. Weird. So is that, I don't know. I mean, what do you guys do with that? So the group of the people who are absolutely most likely to be in the know of something that was forthcoming are the top investors in this fund that happen to have bought the biggest put option bet probably ever on Trump stock the day before this happened. And I haven't even started to get into the day of stuff that is just coming out right now. This has been unfolding every single day. I mean, obviously, you guys know I was just in Mexico and I was just kind of willy-nilly throwing out content as things happened. So this video, there's a lot has happened, and I'm trying not to rehash any stuff that has been covered by other channels, which might be a mistake on my part, to be perfectly honest with you, because I don't know if everybody watches the stuff that I do. But this next part, okay, the next part is, to me was like, oh my God. And this is about the day of the shooting. because if you have not been watching that yet about the actual details of this and the likelihood that there was another shooter and that this guy was a patsy that got put on that roof, got fooled into going into the roof to be a distraction that they were then going to shoot in the face. It might not even be the guy. Okay? So we're going to get into that right now so we can move over to that side of the story. But real quick before we do, just one last parting gift to you guys. So check this out. To make things even more interesting, Soros tipped this gentleman, Champagne Joshioff, to the fact that on Bloomberg, at first, during the day, there is Austin Private Wealth LLC and that huge, enormous trade. And then fast forward to after, oopsie, got his ear, not his brain. They're gone. It's amazing. Look at it. They're gone. They're gone. Just like that. Hey, who has the power to do a thing like that? They're all, wait a minute. Because when I do a put option or a call option on something, and then the thing I thought was going to happen doesn't happen, can I just go, hey man, can you take that trade back, dude? And they're like, of course we can. Sure thing, Jesse on fire. Don't worry about it, It's like, yeah. It was definitely it was a mistake. And they're like, well, but the trade that you made had this thing that just happened gone the opposite way would have been enormously beneficial. And now after it went the other way, you just want your money back. Right. Yeah, that's not how investing works. I've had to have this conversation with someone who was involved in one of my projects, actually, where it was like, they're like, I think I want my money back. You're all, right. Yeah, you mean, so would I, dude. We all made the same investment. Like, that's not how this works, okay? No one could have foreseen that was going to happen. Like, I lost money, you lost money. What are you talking about money back? You think I have your money? That's not how this works, dude. Okay? I lost money. You lost money. There's no one to call. That's not how this works. Oh, wait, except in this case, if you happen to be one of those guys, apparently that is exactly how it works. So, yeah, so this seems like a good place to transition over to the other part of the story where I don't know if anybody else has seen this. Looks like around 377,000 people have seen it so far. But we actually have a video of someone on the water tower, which was one of the multiple other areas that's suspected to have had a shooter on it. A much more likely shooter if there is a deep state conspiracy. Because, rather than they were just going to rely on some 20-year-old Dunsky who has no military experience, etc. Like, absolutely no reason to be afraid of him unless he is carrying a gigantic ladder and an AR in the other hand and then getting up on a roof. Oh, now he's a threat. But for some reason, we can't see that threat. Okay. On the water tower with direct line to Donald Trump, it was like, we heard shots coming from there. And now we also have a report that there were shots coming from 300 yards behind the 150 yards roof that makes absolutely no sense for anyone to have ever been on, not to mention the story of why there wasn't an agent on there. The patsy they put at the head of the Secret Service. Hey, let's hire this. Let's just say it's a DEI thing. We'll get this stupid woman to be the head of the Secret Service, and that way we could put this guy down. We can blame her. She'll have some stupid stories. She won't know what's going on. She's an idiot. But since there was a perimeter and there was like a Pac-Man, area. Well, I mean, if you guys haven't seen that, I'll show you that also if I remember. Okay, but behind that. Right? Like about 300 yards behind that, so about 400 or so yards from the stage, there was a gymnasium, gymnastics place building that no one was on, where a real deal shooter is likely to have taken a shot, according to sources, that they're like, we think there was a shooter there, which literally would have shot right over the top of the patsy that they then shot and blamed the entire thing on. So those are the two areas where people suspect there were other shooters. And take a look at this, dude. Video of someone on top of the water tower. Imagine that. Let's watch this real quick.
Okay, water towers.
That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
So that's what we.
So, yeah, that. Okay, that. So that is backdrop to what we are about to look at here. All right, not there, here. So this is Tony Saruga. I've been getting caught up on his account. He's a data analyst and former intelligence, whatever. So confirming the 3 individuals, the shooter, quote unquote, Patsy, was communicating with via text using one of his 2 devices, were not only in the crowd, but appeared to be in the bleachers behind Donald Trump. AT&T corrupted, deleted, and then restored the corrupt data of these contacts approximately 30 minutes before the FBI accessed the data. Like January 6th pipe bomber was AT&T directed by the DIA. I actually don't even know what DIA is. I'm embarrassed. FYI, and any reference to offshore encrypted accounts are likely a diversion and an attempt to manufacture motive and evidence. Cool. Now, this is a woman whose account I found today, and she had a fantastic video that I watched, and I actually intentionally wanted to use hers for this because I would encourage you guys to watch this video, okay? You'll find it, dude. The story just got way worse. She's awesome. I subscribed instantly. And this is a little bit of like 30 seconds or something of second shooter. Then we're going to look at a video of who was behind Donald Trump at this time, and then now we've got that person ID'd, and this is going to melt your brain. I might even just show you the post and then just stop talking, look into the camera, and end the video. Watch this, dude.
Assassinations of other political figures such as John F. Kennedy and Robert F. Kennedy. And speaking of questionable things, there is another clip that has many people asking questions. A woman at the rally was standing behind Trump and appears to have been bracing for something before any shots were fired, and she seemed quite unfazed.
Watch this, dude. Watch. Watch. She sits down. Yep. Watch this.
If you want to
puts the sign up.
Something that said, take a look at what happened.
Shots go off.
She's completely normal, and then watch.
And then she's got her.
What the fuck? What the fuck? People are freaking out.
And she's filming.
And she's just like right there.
And there's this clip.
Real quick, I'm gonna go over that one more time with you guys because there's even stuff that people are not saying in the video, like what is she looking at? Right? Watch her. Okay, she goes like this. Where did the shots come from again? That direction, right? So she goes like this. She realizes she might be in the shot, so she goes like this and then puts the sign up, right? Because she's like, uh-oh, well, I need to be slick about this. I don't want to be looking directly at the shooter before he shoots. And then when he shoots, watch what everyone else does and look at her. I'm not talking about her popping up with her phone to make sure they get the best possible footage of a dead, like in her, like dead Trump, so she can put it out on social media and be like, here's your guy, dead. Dead. Man, I hate these people. But watch. Everyone else. So she looks there before they shoot. Okay? When they shoot, everyone else looks that way except for her. Okay? So watch this right here. Let's watch it again.
Watch this, dude. Watch. Watch. She sits down. Yep.
It's up there.
Watch this.
If you want to
puts the sign up.
Something that said, take a look at what happened.
Shots go off.
She's completely normal, and then watch.
And then she's got her.
What the fuck? What the fuck? People are freaking out.
And she's filming.
And she's just like right.
Wait until you see who she is, dude. Wait until you see who she is. Let's watch this other clip because I actually don't remember what came after this because when I saw, you'll see.
Right there.
And there's this clip of a Secret Service agent talking on his headset while they are escorting Trump into a vehicle. The guy then points his gun at Trump for a moment, and then he puts it down.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts. I hadn't seen that. I don't know what that means. I'm not even going to comment on that last part because I don't know. But I'm going to comment on this. So you ready to see who that reportedly was behind Trump? Buckle up, dude. Breaking news. The woman in this video behind Donald Trump, where many viewers accused her of giving the shooter instructions, has allegedly been identified as FBI Assistant Director Janine DiGiuseppe. This is still a developing story. Okay, let me pull that up just a little bit more for you. Assistant Director of the FBI is who they're reporting that is. So, yeah. What do you want to do with that, dude? Do with it what you will. I'm just here talking, okay? Just here talking. And now we are going to move over to one other story that I just wanted to talk about briefly, and then I'm going to wrap this video up because I think I've been talking plenty long. Check this out, all right? So yesterday, in case you guys were unaware, like the entire American airline system got shut down in the afternoon. In the afternoon, not in the morning, in the afternoon. Why is that relevant? Well, it's relevant because if you don't recall, last night Donald Trump was going to give his big, his big speech at the RNC. I have no idea when or where he was flying into or what was going on. But what I do know is that the World Economic Forum and all these global elites have been talking about cyber attack, cyber attack, cyber attack, cyber attack, cyber attack, cyber attack, cyber attack. And I think it's important that we start thinking very clearly about what comes next. Because if people think that just because now Trump has absolutely blind support from the country, that means these guys are going to tap out, then you do not understand these people at all. That is not going to happen. That is not going to happen. And if they can't beat Trump at the, if they can't win at the game they're playing right now, which is to try to keep him from becoming president and then ultimately try to whack him out, they're going to take another shot at him for sure. I mean, listen, dude. Bottom line about the cyber attack, I find, or all the flights being grounded, I find the timing of that extraordinarily concerning. But again, that seemed to have been targeted. The airline thing, my guess, I'm like, that's got to have something to do with Trump most likely. And even if it doesn't, it's a massive cyber attack, and it's right before the RNC, the biggest night for Trump's big emergence where he's going to give his speech. Dana White gave the best speech ever. I'm going to do a video about that later. But here's the thing, dude. Right? What I wanted to say about what comes next and Trump in general is this, dude. Like, I heard that call between him and RFK, and I actually listened to it. Like, I read the story that there was a call between RFK and Donald Trump, and Donald Trump is trying to bring RFK onto his cabinet, which, God, I hope happens. I'm going to be straight. I love both of those guys. I'm not sure how well they'll get along, just because, like, I love both these guys. Their personalities are so different, and I would imagine extraordinarily different in how they approach problem solving at a government level. Their personalities might clash. I hope that Trump just goes, here, RFK, you have absolute carte blanche to do this, this, and this. And RFK just understands, it's like, this is my world. Because I don't think, like, Trump's not going to get involved in that, dude. Just let him, just sick that dog on him and let him go eat. You know what I mean? So I hope happens. But when I listened to Trump talking about the assassination attempt to RFK, he sounded too relaxed about it, to me, at least. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I was reading it wrong, and maybe I'm projecting how afraid I am for him, because I feel like I really do understand what's going on here pretty well. And if I'm even in the stratosphere of correct about what kind of powers are behind this, this is not only not over, this has escalated, right? I mean, this has escalated dramatically because their concern is like, oh, he's going to win the presidency. We can't have him be president. Okay, well, now he really can't lose. And not only can he not lose, but he has such overwhelming support that he's got to go if they're them. He has to go. There is no replacement for him. At least not. It doesn't appear to be. Like, I don't know, who would you replace? So they are going to kick it up big. I would anticipate they are going to try really hard to knock him off. And this time they'll go, natural causes. Any doctor claiming to want to come in and take his blood pressure or any kind of shit like that, anything like that, he should be very wary, very suspicious. And he needs people around him that he trusts. Suspicious people. Dude, honestly, I have no military experience, no tactical experience, none of that stuff. But no one is more suspicious than I am, and no one is more like, what are all of the ways that this person could try to... I'm like a constantly running algorithm for that. There's like literally like you could count on one hand the number of people who I never run that algorithm on anymore, my wife being one of them, and other people in my family. Outside of that, I am running it all the time. And like, oh, so today we have this person coming in. I'm like, proximity to Trump. Okay, here's 1,000 different ways that they could, like, dude, they're not touching Trump's They're not touching him with anything. They're not going to put a device on him. They're not going to take his heartbeat. They're not going to take his pulse. They're not going to put a thing on him. They're sure as hell are not feeding him anything. He's not taking any of their fucking medication. None of that stuff. Nothing goes near him unless they've been 100% vetted and you're certain he doesn't eat anything. I already said what I would do about his food. You know, people are like, oh, he needs taste testers. Fuck that shit. No, not that. You need people going to different stores every day and buying packaged food. Okay? And you need to make sure that whoever is doing that is family, someone uncorruptible. And when he puts the groceries into the fucking car, you need to make sure that there's never even a millisecond where there is not direct sight to all of the food that goes in the bags. And you need to make sure that you have an itemized list of every single thing that you bought, quantities, and you need to get there when you get home and you need to count exactly how many so someone can't slip something that they know that you buy into your bag. Okay? No holes in security, nothing. Absolute fucking bulletproof certainty of every single thing that goes into his body because they're going to try to get him. Absolutely, for sure. So you got to buy everything, different stores, you know, and treat it as if there is a threat to his life at all times, because there is. Anyway, that's what I got for today. I love you guys. I got a lot more coming. We're going to do Zuckerberg flipping and endorsing Trump. We're going to do Dana White's incredible speech at the RNC, and we're going to do a lot more. I love you guys. Subscribe to the channel. Bye.